All right, let's go through some running back touches. We'll start off with San Francisco. They are the team with the most running back touches, and of course, that's led by Christian McCaffrey. All right, Christian McCaffrey has 102 touches on the year. Currently ranked number 5 for this next week. He has got the fourth amount of touches for the year. All right, he's got a tough matchup this week. You can see number 1 hardest schedule up against at the Rams, and all of his wide receivers are out. All right, gonna get a little help from there, and Brock Purdy's out. Looks like everyone's out. Brock Purdy is out. Jennings out. Just all the. I don't know how they're gonna get. I'm surprised he's still ranked as high as 5 because he's gonna get no help there. But you can see here, there, and last week he got still 23 touches compared to Brian Robinson and Juszczyk's 5 and 3. So he's still the man there. All right, let's go ahead and bring out the next team. That's going to be Detroit. They have 130. They usually lead in running back touches. I can't believe San Francisco getting so many. Gibbs here, of course, he's the number 8 in scoring. He's ranked 4th for the week. Got off guys to a slow start, I guess, for him that first week. Kind of bringing him down a little bit, I guess. But hey, he is the number 4 running back. Ranked this week. Got an easy schedule. Him and look, Montgomery's ranked 20th. They both got it pretty easy. So, hey, you can see the last week they gave 17 touches to Gibbs and 9 to Montgomery here. So he didn't get quite as many. But, hey, he's still getting enough in that easy matchup. At Cincinnati, they're going to be winning, going to be running out the game. Montgomery might get a lot of touches. No wonder they've got him ranked up to 20th, right? All right, we're bringing out the next one. It's going to be Atlanta. 130. They're the third team with only 2 guys getting the carries, right? You can see how much, Robinson first. Hey, he's the number 3 in scoring. He's got a bye week this week. But, hey, so he's not even ranked. But, boy, he's doing great. Got a bye week. Tyler Algier, though. That's the kind of surprise. You can see he gets a hit or miss every week. But, hey, 31st in touches for him. Of course, they're on a bye week. So, hey, Tyler Algier still has value, though, right? All right, we'll bring out the next. How about Kenneth Walker? All right, he's the 16th in scoring. All right, hey, he's currently 23rd ranked for this next week. Hey, they've got, they're at Tampa, it looks like. Hey, he's 23rd. 13th schedule's kind of tough, but you can see here, let's take a look at last week. They gave it 20-14 for Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet, he's scored 42nd in scoring. So, hey, it's kind of leaning towards Kenneth Walker, you can see here. And not only he's 23rd ranked this week, they got Zach Charbonnet 26th ranked for the week. It's even with that tough kind of game against Tampa, 13th, not terrible, but hey, so Seattle, they've been spreading out. I can see these others last week got nothing. So, but hey, it looks like they're trying to give a little bit more to Seattle here, or I'm sorry, to Kenneth Walker. All right, let's move on to Tampa's up next with 122 team touches. All right, well, of course, Bucky Irvin getting a lot of those so far. But this next week, he is going to be questionable. Did not practice on Wednesday. Not quite sure of what's going on there yet. But, hey, you can see White, they've got him ranked 35th. So, it looks like they got Bucky Irvin ranked 17th. So, they're thinking he might play. That might be a holder in case he is. If he doesn't, of course, Rashad White's going to shoot up. And maybe even Sean Tucker. We see, though, last week, their touches, Sean Tucker, of course, didn't get any. 10 for White and 20 for Irving. So we'll have to see if Irving plays or not, and that would really shoot up White's value, obviously. All right, next up we got Green Bay. We got Josh Jacobs here. He's currently 6th in scoring. All right, and he is not ranked because they're off this week. All right, so you got Green Bay off this week. You got none of them ranked. But he is still the 90 touches, 18. Emmanuel Wilson came on a little bit more. He finally passed this. Brooks had been getting some touches. So you can see last week it was 11 for Emmanuel Wilson here. All right, he's fired a little bit. Well, that's because they were winning so big. Josh Jacobs had a great week the week before. So, anyway, they got on a bye week, so we'll move on from them. How about Pittsburgh's up next? They've been running the ball, right? And, of course, Jalen Warren. Well, we'll go to the last weeks where you see he was out. Then all of a sudden, Kenneth Gainwell gets in there and scores good, right? You can see that big explosion last week, points. And you can see that Caleb Johnson only got 6 last week. He did get in the game, though, finally, getting some points there. But it's been all the top 2, and Warren was out, right? So, hey, see how they're on a bye as well, right? I think they're on a bye as well, so they're not ranked this week. See if Jalen Warren can get back out there and get back in there. Here's an interesting one, Denver, right? You can see J.K. Dobbins leads them, right, with 63 touches. That's ranked 8. He's ranked 18th running back right now, right? He's 18th running back. He's been scoring pretty good, pretty consistent there. So if you have him, you're happy. I mean, he's getting points every week. And, of course, if you've got R.J. Harvey, last week he came on. But before that, you weren't getting very many points. We look at the touches, of course, last week. Well, there's the difference. You can see last week, J.K. Dobbins, 17. R.J. Harvey, 18 touches, right? They started giving him the ball. So, hey, you can see before that, though, hey, he, just by the team touches on the season, he hadn't been getting that ratio, right? And then all of a sudden last week you give him the 18. Well, he's going to score a little bit more there. So maybe they're starting to trust him a little bit more in Denver, huh? Up next is Carolina. Kind of surprising they're way up here. Well, Hubbard here, 19th in scoring. All right, he's been doing pretty good. He has 69 touches on the year. So, hey, you off down a little bit in scoring last week, but hey, he's ranked 19th for the next week, 19th in scoring too. Now, the little rub here is they were even questioning was Chuba Hubbard last week because you can see here the touches. Well, if you look at this, 13 touches last week for him, 10 for Dowdell. Right, Dowdell popped up a little bit. You led him to ask, hey, was there something wrong with Hubbard? Why is ETN getting 7 carries all of a sudden last week when they hadn't gotten any? Here's the touches on the season. You see it was been heavily slanted for Chuba, and you can see the little difference there in the touches. So, hey, of course, they got a game this week. You can see they've moved Dowdell with those touches last week to 40th ranked running back at Miami. That's a pretty easy schedule, right? You look at that. That's a nice schedule for them. That's why Hubbard's ranked 19th. I guess. But there were problems. Might be a little worried how about Dowdell and Trevor Etienne getting some touches last week. So, I don't know what monitor Hubbard there. See if he gets to say. I mean, maybe they're starting to phase out, going to Dowdell a little bit more. All right. How about how about James Cook? Right, he's the number 1 in scoring. Right, hey, ranked 3rd this week, 87 touches. That's always been the kind of rub you see here. The other 2 getting 12, right? And last week, you can see he got 25 touches to their 1. They was all James Cook. Look at that scoring, right? And this week he's got a hard schedule, but playing New England. But hey, he's the number 3 ranked running back. I mean, how you going to take him out of just always there? But boy, he's been seed for the year. He's been getting so many touches, and that's unlike previous years. He hasn't been a touch leader. That's why he's up so high in the rankings, obviously. All right, we'll move on to Cleveland. Judkins. All right, he's going to get some more touches this week. They said, well, hey, it's hard to beat what he's been getting. He got 25-1 last week. They're going to give him more touches. Well, who are they going to take him from? I thought that comment was kind of funny. It's like, well, he got all the touches last week. How's he going to get more? And pass less? Well, yeah, because they're going to Dylan Gabriel. And then they're going to pass less and just go to running the ball every time. But anyway, Cedric Tillman's out there. Judkins, hey, he's been coming on. Boy, get him in your lineups. He's ranked 10th for next week. So great. If you got bye week problems and you have him on your team, that'd be a great player to go with. How about The Giants here, Cam Scatbo leads them with 61. Well, that didn't take long. We were wondering how long it would take him. We'd see last week, 27 touches to 7. All right, look at that. Hey, unfortunately, he didn't do, 27 touches. He still scored, but whoo, 69% efficient rating, 24th touches, 20th in scoring. That's pretty good. He's getting just a lot of touches there for not a lot of points. 27 touches. Wow. Last week. And Singletary was operating as the backup. Now, we'll see if Tyrone Tracy, he's still going to be out week 5. So it's all Cam Scatbo he's ranked 15th for the next week. You guys will be scored some points with him. You can see he's 25th. Easy schedule at New Orleans. Dart's going to get the start there. So, hey, Cam Scatbo, get him loaded and get him going there, right? How about New Orleans is up next in touches? They've been running the ball here. Alvin Kamara, he's 26th in scoring, right? He's ranked 16th for this next week. So, you can see he's getting the touches, right? They got the 10th most touches on the season. So, he's getting touches. Let's take a look at last week. You can see 19 to 11. Well, this Kendrick Miller popped up a little bit more. Look at last week. Getting a little bit more touches. They've got an easy schedule this week, right? 27th. Miller might be a sleeper for you. With those increased touches last week. I don't know if it's a trend. Alvin Kamara, he's not hurt. So, anyway, obviously you got to play Kamara. He's 16th ranked, easy schedule. But maybe even if you're really deep, maybe Miller gets a little touch this week, huh? All right, bring up Dallas is up next with 110 total touches for the team. They've been getting out of that, and it's been Javonte Williams, right? Miles Sanders has been coming on making some noise here lately, right? You can see, only 4 touches last week. But the week before that, he'd gotten more touches. How about Javonte Williams, number 8 in touches, 5 in the running back scoring. He's still been doing good. Look at that scoring. So this next week, they've got him ranked 7th for next week. Miles Sanders is listed as questionable with an ankle. So, hey, Javonte Williams, you can see the breakdown. Last week got 23 to 4. Maybe that's why Miles Sanders didn't get as much last week. So, multiplier light might be on Javonte Williams this week with his 16th schedule. So, that's pretty good for him. Let's move on to Philadelphia. It's been all Barkley, isn't it? 92 to 9 to things. Last week, you only got 3 touches for Dillon, 23 for Barkley. Barkley's been on schedule. He's the number 2 running back in touches, right? 15th ranked. Hasn't been doing as much with him. You can see that efficiency's down to 53. That's not very good. All right. So, hey, maybe an easy matchup. Denver? They got Denver in this week. It flashes as the 23rd schedule, so Denver's not been stopping the run as good as some they would like, obviously. 8th ranked for the next week. Woof, Barkley's ranked 8th with an easy schedule. That just shows you where he's coming from, right? Huh? So, hey, he's been... Look at that ranking history. They got him down to 8th now, 6th last week. So, hey, they've been cooling the Jets here a little bit. Obviously they've been trying to get A.J. Brown, the passing game, up and going. But, wow, Barkley. We're still playing these guys. You're still playing these guys. But you see Barkley was down a little bit in touches or in the rankings. How about Jonathan Taylor? He's the number 2 running back in scoring, right? 90 touches, which ranks the number 1 most amount. Well, no, that's how much scoring he's got going, right? Hey, he's, with the year, he's got, 80, 90 touches. So, hey, good week last week. What else he got this week? Ooh, tough matchup against Vegas. Shows us the 7th schedule. They're home, though. And he's ranked the number 1 running back for the week, right? He's number 2 in scoring. So, hey, get him going, get him loaded up. You'll get a good week out of him. He's been getting all the touches there. Ooh, now here's an interesting one, New England, right? We'll check out New England's touches. You can see Ramondre Stevenson. How about for the last week? Look at that. This is what's killing. 10, 9, and 6. Although Henderson still did something with it. He got a touchdown last week. But absent that touchdown, you're getting that 4 or 5 a week that ain't been getting it done, right? And you can see splitting the touches up like that. Ramondre down week. Hey, they even got Gibson going in here. Look at it. He had a good week. But splitting that touches that are in, just splitting them up too much. You can see they got them ranked 29th and 28th. And that's with bye weeks. Because it's just too much sharing going on there in New England. We worried about that, of course, when the season was coming. Next up, the Rams here. 103 touches. Kyren Williams, right? Scoring 17th. But you can see, hey, Blake Corum has 26 is the breakdown. Only 2 running backs have used or ran here with the Rams. 16-11 the last breakdown. See, so this is where keep your eyes open on Blake Corum, right? Hey, he's still playing second fiddle, obviously, too. But 11 touches last week. Might be game flow on a lot of that. But, hey, so Kyren Williams still getting, hey, he's the 11th most touches still on the season. So, hey, tough matchup, though. San Francisco 8 schedule. But they're at home. We'll see how they do next week. How about moving into Jacksonville? All right, Jacksonville. Hey, Travis Etienne here's been scoring. He's the number 7th in scoring. All right. Ranked 13th this next week. So he's been scoring good. Got an easy schedule. Maybe they're a little low on him. I guess they're playing Kansas City at home. But Jacksonville's defense has been pretty impressive. And you can see, hey, last week, as far as touches go, it was 20-5. Tootin's not, he hasn't been cranking out the touches. And matter of fact, that Allen's been getting a little passing down work. All right. So up next, we've got Minnesota. All right. Of course, last week, hey, it's very important. We got Jordan Mason, 19 touches. Avery Scott's got 8 touches. He's been getting a little bit more action. Doing a lot with it, too. 91% efficiency. So he is the number 2. Last week, you can see he's got 8 touches to 9. Tough matchup this week, number 3 at home or at Cleveland. So, that's going to be tough for Minnesota. How about Vegas up next? You can see here, 76 for Ashton Jeanty. Last week, boy, they got Mostert got in there for 5 last week. His first 5 on the year, huh? So he's back probably number 2 now. And Jeanty, though, 23. Look at that last week in scoring. All right. Hey, tough matchup this next week at Indy. They've got him ranked 9th, though, for the next week here. How about Jets? Here they go, Breece Allen, right? He's 27th in scoring, Braylon Allen. Well, last week the touches were 19-4, and Isaiah Davis showed up for 5 touches last week. All right? Of course, now the story is, of course, Braylon Allen, doubtful with this MCL sprain. So, Breece Hall might get even more action, although you can see here last week he only took 4. And his touches was going to go to 19 to Breece Hall to boost him up. Isaiah Davis will be the number 2 next week. So, hey, Breece Hall here, nice, easy matchup against Dallas. Boy, they got him ranked 12th. He's going to be on fire this next week with Braylon Allen. Won't be pulling Breece Hall out for the goal line. He'll get an extra little goal line look. Man, he's going to have a good week. I'd keep an eye out on Breece Hall this next week. All right? Things are setting up for him here. How about Houston's up next? Houston just can't get anything going on offense. Nick Chubb leads, but hey, let's go ahead and look at the weekly. Right? Last week, you see 21 touches for Woody Marks. See, the scoring represents that now. He's still at 40th at touches, but he's been moving on, getting a little bit more. As they move, they've said they're going to move more to him. Boy, 32. They're at Baltimore, but that's the number 32 schedule at running. And if Lamar's out, look out for Woody Marks this next week, right? He has a good game, probably. They've got him ranked 22nd for next week. Woody Marks is already ranked 22nd. Some other running backs are on a bye. You can see no one else getting any carries here. Last week, anyway, on the season. Pierce and Ngwambwe do have 4. And Nick Chubb's, they're going to fade him out eventually, I guess, and go to Woody Marks. So, Woody Marks there would be doing pretty good. How about Miami? We're getting down here. The team's not getting so many running back touches. You can see we're down to 96. A-Chain's been getting most of those. Number 9 in scoring. You can see last week, of course, he had 21-6 on Ollie Gordon. All right. Well, this next week they're at Carolina. That's the 21st schedule. They got him ranked number 2, A-Chain. And Ollie Gordon's ranked 45th for the next week. But, I mean, hey, we're bye weeks. You're looking for any kind of running back that might get some touches. Well, 6 isn't enough, really. He got last week. How about Kansas City here? They're not running the ball. They're 93rd. They're written down to the bottom of the list here, obviously. Kareem Hunt, 44 touches, 44 for 40 for Pacheco. And Brashard Smith starting to get some touches, right? He's up to 11. Well, let's check the weekly here. You can see last week. Here we go. Like we said, Brashard Smith's going to get more and more as the thing. As a matter of fact, they said he's going to start getting more touches. So we go in for the ranking next week. Of course, he's not going to be ranked for next week. But we got 31st for Pacheco and 34th for Hunt. You just never know when they'll flash up there. They still lead the team, I guess, but Brashard Smith's going to be working in, here on a tough bye week, too. They've got a tough schedule at Jacksonville. Woo! Oh, that's a number 6 bad schedule. You don't like that. Hopefully you don't have to play those Kansas City receivers, especially with all that Sheridan, that rookie coming on. Only 2 running backs in Chicago been getting any carries here, right? So Deontay Smith, or Swift here, he's the 24th in scoring. He's been showing up every week. I mean, just no explosions, right? He's 16th in touches, 24th in scoring. You can see that efficiency's not so good. But you get over here to Mungale. Hey, he's not Mungai. He's just nothing, And last week we checked this here. It's 18-4. So Swift's still getting all the action, right? So if you got Swift, of course, they're on a bye week, so it doesn't really matter. So Bears got the week off. How about Arizona on touches? All right, this is going to be good. So last week, of course, Trey Benson got 13 of the touches. Connor's out for the year. We still rank him on how many they got by thing here. Hey, you see, Benson's going to be out. IR, injured reserve. So now it comes down to these other guys who DeMarcado got 4 touches last week. Is he the number 1? Or they got Michael Carter. He got 1 touch on the year, got 1 yard. So he, in an interview, said that he was going to be the lead back. Yeah, he'll probably take first and second down or Carter, and DeMarcado, the passing back normally. He's going to get a lot of action. We don't love either of their actions. We see here he's ranked 38th, and see here they got the Tennessee. That's an easy schedule. So, hey, if it's going to be Carter, boy, he did not a lot last year. This is yearlies. He did get a little bit last year, but that's an interesting one to watch here is maybe Carter. If you find out he's going to be getting the rock, that he might be the guy here. How about the Chargers? Can you believe we came in thinking they're going to be a passing team? And here they are with 90 running back touches on the year. Hampton leads them. Of course, that's 19th in touches, right? And they're only running 2 guys. Last week, of course, Najee Harris is out. So Hampton got all the touches last week, right? And we'll see how they work Haskins in maybe this next week. But, hey, Washington, they got Washington at home. Hampton's ranked 6th for the week. 14th, he's 13 in scoring. So see if he can get off and get some good scoring from him. Touches are down, though. Can you believe they're way down here? And look at Washington down here at the end of the list. All right. See, let's go ahead to last week's. They gave 9 to Bill, 7 to Rodriguez, 3 to they're splitting it around. Right. And they got a tough matchup at the Chargers. All right. They got him ranked 32nd, 37th. They're putting the guys on their ranking, but that's a tough matchup. And I don't know that you'd want to go with those unless you had to, right? How about Cincinnati? They're not 82 touches. This is on the year. What's that, 20 runs a game? Chase Brown, of course, leads them with 70. Last week, it was 13-1. He continually leads them. He's just not, the efficiency's 38%. I've never seen one that low. 17th amount of touches, 36 in scoring. Just not getting very good. So they got him ranked 24th next week. That's 12th. That's not a very easy schedule. What else are you going to do? I guess that's kind of high in the rankings. Be worried about him. How about Tennessee here? We'll finish up with a couple of Tony Pollard getting all the touches, 80 touches on the year for the team. That's not a lot. Tony Pollard, he's 25th in scoring. He's the only game in town. Of course, we're waiting. Spears is about to come back, right? He expected to return week 5, so he's going to be back, right? Of course, they don't have him ranked this week. They have Tony Pollard ranked 25th with a pretty easy schedule at Arizona with the 20th. So it'd be Tony Pollard one more week, right? You can see last week, of course, he 17-1. He's getting all the touches there, the few that they're getting on the team. And can you believe Baltimore's down here as the last team on touches, 75. Of course you can. If you got Derrick Henry, he's 14th in scoring, right? Ranked 14th this next week. And they have a middle-of-the-road schedule. Can you believe that Derrick Henry is ranked 14th for the week and has a middle-of-the-road schedule at home? Of course, Lamar Jackson's going to be out. Probably. He's doubtful. And that's going to put Cooper Rush in there. And, just not looking good for them, right? Houston's got a pretty tough defense. I mean, hey, if I was Baltimore, I'd be running Derrick Henry. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's a look at some of the touches. Let's take a look at this.